I don't know about you lot, but I'm so sick and fed up of youth culture and society in general. Now, let's not beat around the bush and lie here and say that life has always been perfect and there's been a time in history where we've had no problems, because that's not true. But right now, there's an ongoing crisis in the world. There's an ongoing crisis, and nothing is getting resolved. Nothing. And sometimes I just feel like I'm just speaking to myself here. And it's kind of why social media right now, all it is are distractions and poison and toxicity, and all the types of people on most people on social media don't really have anything nice to say. It's like people have just lost how to be a respectful human being, and it's kind of like once you set up an online profile online, an account, all them morals and rules and just how people are in general go out the window. Trolling, just very nasty, vile cretins, and all sorts of people. And I really just don't understand why I'm really bothering to make this video, really, because I honestly feel like whenever I speak about this, you just get these types of people that are just, oh, well, yeah, we know, but what are you going to do about it? You're not helping. Oh, well, this is how life has been always, or something. But the fact of the matter is it's not always been like this. Teenagers are getting worse. Youth culture is getting worse. It's kind of like none of us know what to do, and even adults in society who should know better are getting worse, and theft and robbery and knife crime, and it's kind of like even adults who should know better, like 30 plus year olds, and just the ones who really should be more mature in society, they're not helping. And everyone kind of accepts life the way it is right now, and it's not right. It's not acceptable. It's not normal. It's not normal to have to live in fear. It's not normal to go outside your front door and be in fear in case something might happen. Children, teenage girls are scared to leave the home because for fear of getting raped by migrants. People are just becoming very much more aware and in fear and very paranoid altogether. Just go outside in public and just look all around you. Look how many people are just scanning, and just looking around them as well. It's kind of like we've all got this. It's kind of like how a rabbit has its eyes at the back, where it can see in front and also behind. It's kind of like we're almost becoming like rabbits in some kind of way. You're just always, paranoid of what predators could be out there. People just don't know how to behave anymore. People do not know how to behave, and that really is kind of frustrating, because we're we live in 2026. We should be evolving. On paper, the world and society should really be getting better, not regressing, not getting worse. Throughout history, it's mostly been, as the years go by, technology gets better. Society is meant to evolve, but what are we seeing right now? Nothing is evolving, really. Society is not getting better. Nothing. Even the government. The government that should really be for British people and help British people out first, and veterans and homeless. They're not even helping out their own people. In fact, the Labour government have done everything to kind of make life for the average citizen worse, who's been a resident citizen all their life in the UK. But if you're a migrant, it doesn't affect you. The government loves that the migrants coming across the channel, and housing them in these hotels, these travel lodges, and maybe even privately owned family-run hotels. All these hotel owners are getting bribed by the government to use their facilities to house fucking migrants, whilst someone could be out on the street and they're not even given anything by the government. So yes, society is fucking shit right now, and I do get the side of people are frustrated and angry because of migrants, but also I think there's also a side where more people are just becoming very animalistic, more degenerate. More people are becoming less civil, and it's kind of like when your mum would tell you, don't stop out too late, don't stay out too late. That's becoming more apparent and more obvious that you shouldn't be staying out late. Even as an adult, being out late at night has its consequences, because you only have to look at the news. You only have to read what's happening in the UK right now, and all these towns, cities, knife crime, people getting stabbed. There was once I read up on this father was being stepping in and being like a hero to defend someone. It might have been his son, I'm not too sure, but he got stabbed by a couple of teenagers. So no, I don't like teenagers. I don't want to be around teenagers. I fucking hate the youth culture right now. Bunch of degenerates, scumbags, lowlives. No one I'd really trust. I would not trust teenagers with anything. And it's really frustrating that we've really got to share the same space as them. We've got to be around them. We've got to live in the same area, and it's not on. And for the people that don't have kids, who kind of just want to live their own life, maybe they're just a single male or female and they don't really have any kids, they don't have experience, and they just want to get on with their own life. But it's like you can't have that. People are taking what isn't even fucking theirs. More people or getting the stuff stolen out from the fucking house, or what's, a package on the front doorstep by these fucking cretins that we can all see coming. We can see it from a mile away. Wearing fucking black balaclavas and or a ski mask and gloves, and and we know exactly who the suspects are. It doesn't take a fucking genius to work out what types of people will be robbing your belongings and causing chaos. We can see it in the news, in the free press, whenever you want. Whenever we feel like it, we can go into the free press, go on the site, have a look at the news, and you will just you'll find out what kind of suspects these people are. But you can't say that because, oh well, you're just being stereotypical, you're just being prejudiced. You can't beat all of them with the same brush. What's wrong with you? Putting them under all the same umbrella. But the thing is, right, this is a common occurrence. When you're around this all the time, when you live in a town that is high, just high in knife crime, robberies, just assault on the street in broad daylight, when you're aware and you're around this all the time and you live in a place like that, you kind of grasp what kind of people these are. I'm part of these community pages on Facebook to do with the surrounding areas where I live. I know exactly what the kind of people are that do all these stupid, low life, and just all these scummy things. So I guess I do fit into the category of being stereotypical, but at the same time, I know exactly what kind of people these are and what they look like. And it's usually from youth culture. It's some scummy, degenerate 17, 18-year-old with no etiquette, no morals, not even a human being really, just an animal with no conscience, nothing going on for himself, and he's decided that today I'm going to mug someone, or I'm going to rob off someone's front porch or something. What's been left by him by an Amazon driver, and maybe they're not in because they're working. So yeah. So if this makes me fall under the umbrella of being stereotypical, then I guess I am, and that's okay. I'm okay with that. But I've been on this earth for quite enough time now, for long enough to know what types of fucking scumbags these teenagers are, what kind of scumbags we get in this youth culture, and it's not pretty. Life right now is very. It doesn't seem like you can just go out and live a normal, ordinary life anymore. It kind of feels like survival. It's almost as if like every second of the day, once you step out your front door and you go out into public, you've got to be aware every second, every minute of the day. You're going to be very visual on what kind of people are around you. You've got to be prepared for what could come. And maybe it might be different in some areas of England, of the UK, but for a lot of areas in the UK, nowhere is safe. And it's just very frustrating, really, because no one who wants to live, the people who want to just live an ordinary, normal life, not being exposed and being in the same fucking town or city, village or whatever as these scummy, mouth-breathing, fucking cretin scumbags, who happen to be teenagers, and all the rest of the scummy cretins, low lives, who should know better. You know, the adults who are more mature, that have, you know, that should really really should be setting an example, who should be mature, who should be an adult. The ordinary people like me and you, whoever just wants to live a normal life, should be able to be given that right, that basic right to live somewhere that is just, there's no problems. There's no problems with the community. There's too many problems in the world as it is. The cost of living, all them kind of issues. Life is stressful enough. These types of people right now that are, just the other day, a security guard lost his job because apparently, I think he was using too much force or whatever, got fired from Waitrose. A boyfriend abusing his girlfriend. I don't know if it was a potential future husband. I don't know, but a guy abusing his girlfriend. His girlfriend is no longer here. She unfortunately took her own life. What is wrong with the world? Honestly, what is fucking wrong with the world right now? Because nothing is adding up. People don't know how to be human anymore. Most people do not have morals, and it shouldn't be like how it is right now. I really hope one day we get back to a more normal way of living. Because right now, 2026, it really doesn't feel like it's normal at all.